All right, so the Sharks lose their second game of the season. They lost to the Nashville Predators. So they lose back-to-back games after losing to the Boston Bruins last game and now the Nashville Predators. This game was in Nashville, and for the Sharks, it was a really slow game offensively. It was a game they really couldn't get going. I mean, the first period, they just didn't have many shots. Same with the second. And in the third, obviously they had one goal, and that was really the only time that they had signs of life. Although they didn't really lose by much. I mean, 3-1 final, and one goal was an empty netter for the Preds, so they had a decent shot. Reimer was in net today, as he had a pretty good game when he stepped in last game against the Bruins. He had 23 saves in this game and a .920 save percentage. Not terrible, but could have been better though. The only Sharks goal was in the third period, and it was from Timo Meier. He didn't have any assists, so it was his only point. And the assists were to Dahlin, who's been really good lately, and Couture, who's also been really good lately. For the Predators, they had 3 goals total. Matt Duchene, and they had one in the first, one in the second, and one in the third. They had a goal from Philip Forsberg and Mikhail Granlund. Pretty good game for them. And they had Jose Saros in net, and he had 28 saves and a .966 save percentage. So the Sharks, they've dropped their last 2, and I think maybe they want to regroup a little bit. It's not the end of the world, obviously, but it is a little bit of a sense of urgency when you start out 4-0 and then you lose 2 games in a row. That's something maybe to be a little concerned about and maybe make changes. I think the first game was a test, as I mentioned, when that game happened, and I think this one might be kind of a wake-up call. If you beat 4 Canadian teams in a row and then you lose to these next 2, it's something that you want to take a better look at. And, you look at the standings, the Sharks are doing fine. They're third place now in the Pacific, but, I mean, they're basically tied with the Flames because the Flames have 1 more point than them. But, I mean, I think if we want to actually think about making the playoffs, which the Sharks didn't really have expectations, you have to win games like this. And, it was just kind of a slow game. And I think the Sharks offense, while it's been good to start the year. I mean, really good to start the year. As of late, it hasn't been really, I think, to its full potential. And I think also the goaltending, I think it's good, but not great. I think Reimer had a good game, but I don't think he had a great game. And I think if he, doesn't allow that second goal to Nashville, might have been a different game because, like I said, that third goal for Nashville was on the empty net. So Sharks have a legit shot, and so did they against Boston. So I think really these last 2 games were very winnable. I think the Sharks very well could be 6-0 today. And this game was like nationally televised on ESPN Plus, which is kind of cool to see. Sharks get some more attention like that, but they didn't really play up to those expectations. And yeah, I mean, they had a lot of shots when the game was all said and done, but really the early part of the game, they didn't have any shots. They weren't scoring on power plays. They just kind of weren't playing sloppy, really, and having a lot of turnovers. And I think a lot of that is figuring out the lines. I don't think necessarily all the lines were the best tonight. I mean, I think the first line was pretty good. But I think when you go down, it's just inconsistencies that's the issue. So yeah, they lose to the Predators. They moved to 4-2. Predators coming into this only had 2 wins. So I thought we might have a shot. We're going to play the Canadiens next game on Thursday. We previously beat them 5-0 in their home arena. So I have confidence that'll be our next home game as well. So we were on this long road trip. I'm confident we can beat the Canadiens, but I don't want to say anything because we'll see what happens. And then, yeah, anyways, that'll be pretty exciting to see. 3-1 though, unfortunate loss to the Nashville Predators as the Sharks move to 4-2 and remain at 8 points on the year. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this game. I'll see you guys later, and yeah, go Sharks.